Have you ever had to make a choice you weren't certain you could make? Something so important, with repercussions that ran so deep, you weren't quite sure you were truly meant to be the one making it. An impossible decision, lacking a properly right answer. Because I haven't! I've been sure every choice I've ever made in my life thus far. Never doubted myself for a second, and look where it's got me. Not a single care in the world, nor any regrets neither. Well, except for losing me hand, and me foot, and me eye, and getting cursed. And the crippling debt I be owing to the gold hoarders. But aside from that, never made a bad choice in me life, including the one I'm about to be telling you. Now, when this tale began, I'd just gotten back to the outpost from a long voyage, seeking to get 3 sheets to the wind in a nice warm tavern. But it seemed fate had other plans for the night. Exhausted though I were, even I could see Lorena were getting real antsy-like. So I did what I always try to do to avoid her. No eye contact, no sudden moves. But even that weren't quite enough this time.
Hey, you got a second? It's important.
I swear, try as you like, the lass simply won't leave a poor sailor to his own devices.
So, from what I hear, the Reaper's bones aren't done trying to bring back Captain Flameheart. All I know is that their sea forts are somehow involved. Whatever their plan is, I'm sure that Belle's trying to stop them. You should sail over to Shipwreck Bay and help her while there's still time. Good luck, pirate.
So, orders in hand, given one last mournful look to the night of drinking I were planning to do, I set sail once again, on me way to Shipwreck Bay. Once I'd raised sail near the remains of the Black Witch, I made me way inland to where Belle and Pendragon had their setup. I didn't quite understand just what me eye were beholden.
It's good to see you.
So I went to ask
There's
Belle.
no time to waste. I ask that you do not disturb Captain Pendragon. He requires full concentration if we are to have any hope of stopping Flameheart. But if you are here to assist us, then it is urgent that we speak. The future of the Sea of Thieves may depend upon it.
The future of the Sea of Thieves is nice and all, but just for the moment at least, my main concern were how this idiot got that magic sword stuck in the painting, and why he couldn't pull it out. I wondered about that one to myself, as I told Belle I were willing to lend me
We have
cutlass
work
to
to
her
do.
cause.
I'm glad to hear it, for we can no longer prevent the return of Flameheart. Instead, our plan must now be to draw his spirit here, far from his waiting body, where it can be sealed away for good. The 6 sea forts are the key to Flameheart's defeat. They house bewitching dolls, dark relics that can help us complete our form of the ritual. The more sea forts we seize, the stronger those relics will become. Flameheart's son is even more tenacious than I imagined. But something is happening which he did not expect. Soul Flame captains are being drawn from the Sea of the Damned in Flameheart's wake. If you can destroy one and bind their soul to a dark relic, it will greatly increase its power and our chances. Fly our flag at as many sea forts as possible. Enchant the dolls if you can, but above all, bring those dark relics to me.
Now this were where I started tuning out a bit. Figured it'd just be the same fate of the Sea of Thieves spiel we've heard once a month, every month, for the past several. So, just to recap me mission, capture the forts, raise the flags, enchant the dolls, and bring 'em to Belle. That settled, I were off to go crush an orphan's dreams of seeing his father again. Oh, I'm horrible. Anywho, the thing to do now were to decide which fart to hit first. I were certainly spoiled for choice, seeing as half of the blasted things were under Reaper control at the time. Through a lengthy deciding process, which totally weren't just avoiding other ships, I came to pick Ancient Gold Fortress as my first mark. The fort cannons roared with all the precision of a man with 2 eye patches. Frankly, I did more damage to my own ship by forgetting to raise the sail the rest of the way. Once that were patched, I made my way up and around the outside of the overgrown building, sword ready to cut down whatever were in me path. It were quiet at first, but then... A soul flame captain. A whole load of bluster and hot air caught within an iron frame. It levelled its blunderbuss at me, but by some miracle, missed its shot, granting me a moment to scramble past it in search of more ammo. As I made my way back around to the front, a brief clash with one of them Reaper Phantoms caught the captain's attention once more. I delivered what blows I could, but it were quick enough to get away, giving me a chance to look for something to eat. But what I found were far more interesting than that. One of them dark relics Belle had mentioned. A bewitching doll I could bind the captain's soul into. All I had left to do was to kill it. I were hurt, and the phantoms were on their way, quick on their feet for a bunch of dead men. Lucky me, I were quick too. Lifting the hatch, I dropped down to the basement, hoping to buy myself a little time to heal. The captain ambushed me down there with that blundy of his, but another missed shot were all it took for him to lose his composure. He were mad as hell, best I could figure, trying to go in for a swing before ducking out when I tried to retaliate. It were no matter though. I had the ammo and I had the high ground. His sole advantage were his phasing around like a coward. It weren't all that much longer before that spectral body failed him, giving me the soul I needed to enchant me doll. Putting the relic safely aboard the fumbled plunder, I grabbed a handful more shots for me pistol, before heading back in to take on the leader of these here phantoms, the Flame of the Fortress. Fat boy there could sure deliver a swing, and he could take 'em well too. So, I decided to go with something a little more decisive. Okay, fine, it got me too, but it worked, didn't it? Ugh, whatever. Once I were back from the ferry, I went back up to the roof, checked the horizon, and once I were sure it were clear, I took down that flag of Flameheart and put up one for Belle. Heading back to my ship in a timely fashion, I checked the map to see what fort I'd next be taking on. It hurt to do, truly it did, but I had to leave the treasure behind. Couldn't risk sticking around, what with the great green light now shining down from the heavens. So, pockets far lighter than I'd have preferred, I made my way up to Imperial Crown Fortress. This one weren't actually claimed, unlike ancient gold, but it were on me way, so who were I to pass it up? A handful of Spanish ghosts had never been a match for me before, nor would they be now. This fort went much the same as the last one. Dispel phantoms, dance my way around gunfire, careless with a keg, enchant me doll. Nothing I don't do twice before my morning rum. I raised up another flag in support of Belle, and began to head northeast towards my next destination. I did spot a brig on the path, but they were occupied. Okay, not as occupied as I thought. Not as occupied as I thought. Not as... Anyway, after me moment of panic, I came to realize that the brigantine were actually just going off to the outpost. But by that point, I were so off course already that I just finished the trek down to Mercy's End, just to find... an oddity. The blasted thing were already half captured. Someone must have just came in to take out the Soul Flame Captain, since I didn't hear him carrying on about my mortal weaponry. But the lazy blackguards did it without bothering to actually finish off the rest of the Reaper Phantoms that were stationed in that fort. No complaints from me. All it means is less work for me to do. I merely be shocked they didn't stick around to finish her off is all. Regardless, their short-sighted abandonment of the fort just made it easier for me to finish it off and claim it as me own. With that, another fort claimed for dear Belle. There were only one last beacon of the flame to put to shame. And I'm sure you already know how this is gonna be going down. Say it with me now. Kill the phantoms. Slay the Soul Flame Captain. Enchant the doll. Extinguish the flame. Raise the flag. And laugh at the orphan. Oh, come on. He's grown up and he's evil. He can take it. Now then. 4 forts, 4 dolls. 3 of which were enchanted, all nice and proper like. No doubt in me mind, Belle would be happy to see it. And what do you know? I were right.
I knew I could count on you, but there is much more we have yet to accomplish. The more sea forts we control, and the more dark relics we have, the better our chance of stopping Flameheart and saving poor Arthur. If you can find more,
Saving
until then,
Arthur.
farewell.
I'm sorry. Me ears must have been clogged by all the black powder I've used, because it sounded to me like she just said that Pendragon just plunged the sea into a war because he couldn't keep himself from doing something stupid again. Oh, I let the bilge rat have it now. I'd been whipped up into a frenzy of anger over his incompetence. If this were the outside world, I'd drag him up to a naval office myself to be getting him an appointment with Jack Ketch. But this weren't the outside world. There were no naval offices to go to, no Ketch to deal with those who needed dealt with. But that didn't mean that I were out of options. So, I went aboard the Fumbled Plunder, me entire body burning with a fury untold, and made me way to my next destination. How bad could one skeleton lord be, anyway?